As the race for the White House heads into the post-Labor Day stretch, Democratic nominee Joe Biden says he'll resume in-person campaigning, making stops in some key battleground states after taking his campaign almost entirely online during the coronavirus pandemic. New Fox polls show the former vice president leading among likely voters in 3 of those states, with a 9-point lead in Arizona, a 4-point lead in North Carolina, and an 8-point lead in Wisconsin. Let's bring in Wall Street Journal columnist Karl Rove. He served as a senior advisor to President George W. Bush. So, Karl, we're about a week since the Republican convention closed. Is it too early to look at the polls and say where the campaign has shaken out?
Well, I'd wait a couple of days more. We're now starting to get polls that went into the field on Sunday night, and I feel better about polls that are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week than I am about polls that were conducted over the weekend. But
right.
There's been a minor tightening of the race, but it's actually been going on for some time. If you look at the Real Clear Politics average, the biggest gap was just over 11 points in that average on June 22nd, and today it's about 7.2. So there's been a tightening, but it's been going on for a while.
Well, but that means there's still a substantial lead nationwide for Biden, less so in the battleground states. But you saw those Fox surveys, 9 points in Arizona, 8 in Wisconsin. I mean, the president won Arizona last time.
Right. I want to be cautious about something on these state level polls, and these are Fox polls, so we all have greater confidence in Fox polls. But I really, I'm looking at private data in some of these Senate races, for example, in Arizona and in North Carolina, and they show the race either a small Trump lead or essentially dead even. We saw, for example, a public poll in North Carolina this week that had the race dead even. And we have a lot more national polls so we can construct an average, and the average of all those polls gives us a better sense of where the race is. We don't have as many state-level polls. Now, is the president behind in states where he should be ahead? Yeah, Arizona's one. He won Wisconsin as well. He won North Carolina as well. And he's got some work to do, but I'd be a little bit careful about reading too much into one individual state-level poll.
All right, so let's see where that shakes out in the next 10 or so days. Let's talk about this law and order issue and the unrest, urban unrest. The president's obviously trying to make it a major theme. Got Joe Biden on the defensive where he had to at least start talking about it. But is this making a difference in the race? Doesn't seem to be in the polls.
Well, I think the change in this race is going to come by building issue upon issue upon issue to a breaking point. And so the question is, will this help them get to that breaking point? This really boils down to a question of judgment. Is Joe Biden too weak to address this? Is Joe Biden wrong in failing to address it? I mean, it was really remarkable. The Democratic Convention passed an entire week without mentioning once the lawlessness in American cities. I thought Biden was smart to finally come out and say, I condemn in very certain terms the lawlessness that's going on in our cities. People must be punished. On the other hand, he then turned around and diminished it by immediately saying, well, this is all Donald Trump's fault. He's responsible for it. Yeah, which I think says to somebody in the suburbs, think about the people that we have up for grabs in this election. They're sitting there saying, I sort of like what Trump may have done, but I don't like how he handles himself. When Biden goes and says it's all his fault, they say, wait a minute, it's not his fault. It's the fault of the individuals who rioted, who picked up those bricks and threw them through the windows, who took those Molotov cocktails and threw them. It's their fault, not Donald Trump's fault. So, and it overwhelmed it. If he'd simply left it alone and said, I condemn in no uncertain terms what's going on in American cities. The police must hunt down those people and they must be prosecuted. That would have been a lot better than to make it entirely political by then turning and saying, hey, it's really, just remember, it's Donald Trump's fault.
The other, one of the themes related to this that the president is pressing is this idea that Biden is weak, that he's not tough enough to handle this kind of unrest. Of course, Biden's response is, yeah, but it's on your watch, Mr. President, so who's weak and who isn't? But I wonder if the subtext here in the question of weakness relates to whether Biden is going to be strong enough to and willing to stand up to the political left, which has been driving so much in the Democratic Party.
I think you're right, and I think that's the sub-theme that we'll see played out over the next 7 or 8 weeks because, look, he has done things that have just astonished me. He won the nomination because he was a traditional Democrat, and then immediately said, Bernie, let you and I sit down and write a 100-plus page paper on how I'm going to concede to you on most major economic and social and political and military and national security issues. I mean, that document, the Unity Commission report that they both signed off on, is an astonishing surrender to the left of the Democratic Party, and picks the most liberal member of the U.S. Senate as his running mate, has said things that he wouldn't have said 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and maybe didn't even say a year ago, refused to say a year ago.
I want to ask you about the jobs numbers in the economy this week, because it looks like the economy is recovering faster than certainly I thought it would. Certainly most people on Wall Street thought it would. Is this something that, I mean, we still are obviously have too many people out of work, but it is recovering faster. How strongly would you hit this issue if you were the president and hark back to how good it was in February?
I'd be hitting it hard as you go into September and into October. I'd be hitting it really hard, because you got to make a bet. His campaign really has to make a bet that as we get further into the fall, coronavirus recedes from its position as the major concern, and that people begin to turn their attention to who is better able to reignite the economy. This is where he has always had an edge over Biden. And I read a little publication called The Dispatch each morning, because they have a little chart at the top that shows the 7-day rolling average for cases and the 7-day rolling average for deaths. We are down 50% from the highs that we had earlier this summer on cases, and we are at 1/3 the level of deaths. I mean, not to diminish how terrible it is that 1,000 people or so a week are dying, but we're down to a third of where we were in May. So if that continues, then the economy will be a bigger issue in the minds of voters.
Yeah, that's about 1,000 a day. Yeah, no, I know.
Right, I'm sorry.
No worries. Just to prevent you from getting a lot of mail, Karl.